A good evening, a good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Today, we are here live for Jordan Pride's commitment out of Arkansas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, and Ole Miss. Once recently committed to FSU, decommitted from FSU, and now he's got all SEC offers on the table. Very interesting to see how this is breaking down. Glad to see that he decided to leave the ACC and come join a better conference, of course. You know, what's really even good is to see just the positivity in the chat. You know, nothing like coming in here to see all the positivity and how much excited you guys are to have a show. It's fantastic. That's complete sarcasm if you couldn't pick up what I was putting down. You know what I'm saying? How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are feeling good. We got about 3 minutes now until Mr. Pride commits to. We will be finding out here shortly. We'll pull it up. Make sure you guys drop a like, show some love. Godspeed, show up, my boy. What's up, Bechet? Says Texas A&M. I saw a Bama prediction in there. Texas A&M is getting a lot of heat. I know he came on record and said, Texas A&M is the way that I'm headed. Also on his Instagram, he posted a few things about, looks like a big Texas A&M lead. But nonetheless, we enjoy coming in here and hanging out and, joining the stream. No matter where these kids go. I think that's the part that you guys don't understand. Is I enjoy making this content. But don't leave once Jordan Pride commits. We've got a couple of things that I'm going to go over. Jeremiah Smith, obviously setting an official visit for Florida. We got Alton Maskel, who's been visiting as well at Florida. Then talk about some recruiting stuff that Billy has been talking about as well in the future and what he's expecting to see. So got a little bit of a show. Not just the commitment, but we'll see here. C. Bama says, let's get it, Bama, roll tide. Got over 150 in here, 27 likes. So let's drop a like, boys and girls. Show some love. LFGM says, don't threaten us with a good time. What's up, man? Slime Ball, what's going on? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Herbert Perriam says, I think he's trolling. You see, look, Herbert, that's what I was thinking too, man. Sometimes you see these kids kind of just like being adamant on posting on their Instagram like, hey, this is where I'm headed, or kind of like leaning towards that. They end up going another direction. So nonetheless, it'll be fun. We'll see how this plays out. I know he was once committed to FSU. I've heard that Florida has kind of taken a step back. I know there was an injury, and that was kind of where FSU came into play of like, hey, we don't want him either. I don't know. It's always noise with recruiting. We've got 2 safeties committed currently, a 3-star in Josiah Davis and a 5-star in Xavier Filsaime. So could that be a little bit of a threat? There's a lot of question marks on what could be and the reason why. Could we be surprised today and see him come through? I don't know. Let's see. Jacob says, oh, shit, a midday stream, and I'm awake for it. I love it. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know why we wouldn't be awake for a 3 o'clock stream, but nonetheless, Lost Boys says, go Gators from Butte, Montana. I probably said that wrong. Probably butchered that. We got about a minute until we go live with Mr. Jordan Pride. I've got his Instagram pulled up as well as a YouTube video. So we're ready to rock and roll here in about 60 seconds to see where he heads off to. Just over 60 seconds left until we're ready to rock and roll. So Florida is 4.5 under. Tristan says A&M lock. Almost 200 people in the chat and only 38 likes. Let's drop a like, boys. Show some love. Subscribe if you're new here. Obviously, we like to go live for these commitments. No matter where these kids go, it's always fun to see what's going on and to get everyone together. And the positivity in the chat is always just through the roof, so that's always good to see. Just broke 200, so happy to have all of you guys here. We've got just a few minutes before we get rocking and rolling. Let me know down in the comments, where do you think Mr. Jordan Pride will end up? Is it A&M? Will Lane Kiffin land one on his birthday? You think Lane could get one on old B-Day here for the boys? Hotty toddy? Bama. Daniel says Bama. Okay. He's on live on his Instagram. Okay. He is live, and we are there with him. Here we go, boys. It's crooked. I can't control the crookedness, so don't yell at me. Here we go. We got Aggie footballs in the comments. Super chat from Andy Ray says, high top is cool like a penguin sliding in some ice. What's up, Andy Raps? Appreciate the support, and I appreciate the good comments, man. Much love, big guy. It's going to Am, but don't bother. Probably going to A&M, but all good. We got plenty of studs in secondary. And Mincy's on the way. I'm liking it, Mike. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
His 6 final choices are University of Alabama.
What's going on? Yeah, he saw me. He saw me. Yeah, that's
A&M University.
You know that shit was funny. You know that shit was funny.
And Arkansas. And Jordan and I were talking a little bit, and I just
Let's
told
see,
him,
boys.
man, you can close your eyes and have your mom scramble those hats around and pick up one, and it still would be an outstanding choice.
It's going to Morehead State.
Okay. Make his commitment here in just a minute. Coach Buggs has been part of this program, and Coach Jordan, he wanted to say just a few words here.
Red Jackie's going to A&M. I mean, look, big upgrade, right? To go from being from an FSU commit to now.
Okay, perfect, man. Sweet, we're going to start that 5-minute countdown clock, and then we are going to roll into that little open. And then, yeah, if you just want to stay muted, listen for Josh to call it to high school. Appreciate it, guys.
Where did that come from? LFGM, I don't get it, man. I feel like these kids, they have an opportunity to really capitalize themselves. Look, I mean, I get they're kids, so who knows? I don't know, but is Instagram the way to go? What's up, T-Lift? Good to see you, man. So we got 4 minutes here on 3. They've got obviously some time. They know what's going on. They're kind of running the show here. So we'll go back and forth between these two. This guy says, go Gators.
Anybody want to say a word over there?
That B looks like a Boston Red Sox B. High schools always cheese me out with their logos.
Well, I'm going to set the microphone down. I'm going to let Jordan do his thing right here. He's going to make his commitment.
Here we go, boys. Here we go, boys. 200 plus in the chat. Make sure you guys drop a like, show some love. Good afternoon. Tyler Dyson says, "Sup, high top." What's up, baby?
Give it a second. Squeak or not. Give it a second. All you gotta do is just turn the volume on whenever you get ready now.
I think they're waiting for on 3. Travis, what's going on, baby?
They not ready until he said him and Chad Simmons gotta talk first, and then they gonna put you on. You gotta wait till they go.
They got the volume on. Hold it pretty close to you now.
He gotta wait on them.
I gotta wait on now. Do what now?
I gotta wait on them.
Okay.
It'd be like 5-10 minutes.
So it's gonna be a few minutes.
That's what he said. He said they gotta talk first. That's why I said when he started.
Get up there and say something, Travis. No, literally.
You hear them discussing this? So it looks like they're waiting on 3 from what I can hear. They
No, we'll talk. Yeah.
on 3 says they got to obviously go over some things. So let's see here.
You wanna say something?
Go ahead, Sean.
We got like 7 minutes. We gotta wait on these people.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got a few minutes here, boys. So we'll hang out for a bit and hang out with these guys on their lives, give them some love. But it looks like they're waiting on 3. I don't know why on 3's over here making them wait. If they did this on High Top Sports, we would be on time, boys. You know how we do it around here. Yeah, Aaron Jordan thought he was supposed to be a lock for us after the FSU decommit. You know, it was very strange. I felt like he decommitted during the spring game week. Xavier committed obviously during that week. It felt like Jordan Pry was going to follow. Obviously, I mean, again, a lot of noise of him possibly going to Texas A&M. There's a lot of question marks. You know, a lot of question marks. John Wilcox, what's going on, man? Good to see you, man. Glad to have you here, Bob. Almost 300 here on a Tuesday afternoon at 2:30. I'm loving it. Get on 3 live. Tell him he's ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up, boys? Lock it in. Refresh the on 3.
No, it was
No, they put it on.
I said C.
Bro, that's crazy, man. On 3, y'all be doing a boy like that. You know what I'm saying? On his day.
Eastern on his post. Yeah, I saw that. I was going to check with you.
Yeah, did you see on 3 too? Here was confusing. So Hayes Fawcett posted that he would be committing at 1:30 Central Time. Then on 3, Recruits posted a photo today saying he'd be committed at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I was stressing. I was trying to figure this out because he retweeted both. Like, y'all y'all be slipping with those times, man. I mean, this one happened at high top. We know our clocks.
The timer already started. They just waiting on the timer to come down. He said it's a 5-minute timer.
You think I can call Jordan? Like, hey, come live on high top. Let me.
It's
I'm
on
not
YouTube,
logged into my
man.
thing. You go message him. Yo, come live on high top.
What?
Your jacket sleeve.
Is the volume on?
Yeah.
I gotta unmute myself.
Say, hey, come live on high top. We'll see.
It was a 5-minute countdown. That's why I told them to start it. But Jordan said no.
We waiting on
Look at that,
on
boys.
3. Miss Tyson asked me what.
I'm on the thing with on 3, so I don't got my phone right there.
I ain't right. I was just gonna go up there and say what.
That's crazy, man. I can't grasp my head around that. Matt says Chili's the linebacker who just dropped his top 3. I saw that. It was like Michigan, Florida, and one more school. Maryland was like another N.
Yes.
And I hadn't heard much about this kid. I think it's Aaron Chili's or Childs, I believe is his name. And I saw I got hit with the top 3, and I was like, we got 2 or 3 linebackers already. Plus we got Crystal Ball for Christopher Jones. That just seems like a really chunky linebacker room. Sometimes I wonder, like, these kids are just putting...
Welcome into the On3 studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're set for a very special announcement. We're going to go to Bluntstown High School here in a couple minutes.
A couple
for the
minutes,
commitment
Josh.
of 4-star safety Jordan Pride. I appreciate
They're
you guys
really
all
milking
being
it.
here. So do me a favor right now. Like this video and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page.
Don't
We
say
have
that.
a ton of recruiting developments in the latest college football
Oh,
news. So
man.
go ahead and subscribe to the On3 YouTube
Well, we got to get
page.
these kids on high top,
All
man. I
right,
feel like
what
the
are we
energy
here
would just be
for?
much more
We're here for
electric, you know?
4-star safety
But look, us,
Jordan
we
Pride.
respect to On3,
He's
6 foot 7, we got the thing
6'1.5",
going. You know what I mean?
175 pounds from Bluntstown, Florida.
Convert one of those D
Attending
linebackers
Bluntstown
to
High School.
linebackers
He
to
was
D
at
linebackers. I'm saying, bro,
IMG
we got
Academy
just
last
stacked
year,
up in the room. You
back
know what I
at
mean?
Bluntstown this year, number 8 ranked safety in the country.
Brandon said if I
101st
committed to
best
Florida,
player
I'd
overall
announce it right in the big
according
ass
to
Gators,
industry
bro.
rankings.
Hey,
Currently has
if
an
you are
On3
watching this
NIL
and you're a potential
valuation
commit to
of
Florida, all right, hear me out.
$111,000.
We're located here in St. Augustine.
Price
We got the
committed
Alligator
FSU
Farm.
for nearly
We're
a
tight with
year.
them.
He decommitted though in April.
Let's
and
make
at the
something
time,
happen. I'll
he was
get connected
visiting
with the
Gainesville.
Alligator
He was
Farm.
checking out
We'll
UF,
get you
and
with the
it
big
looked
old
like the rival
albino
Florida
gators
were
and
gonna
shit.
land his
You know what I'm saying?
commitment, but
They're one of the
I
big
hate to say
dogs
it,
here.
but the Gators got some
I don't know if you can ride
competition.
it,
Let's look at the
but we
schools
can get you
in
pretty
it
damn
for
close
him.
to it.
You
I mean,
got
could you imagine
Alabama,
committing
Texas
like in the
A&M,
middle of like the swamp
Florida,
at the
Tennessee,
Alligator
Ole
Farm?
Miss, and Arkansas. We're going to talk more about this with Director of Recruiting Chad
That'd be
Simmons
pretty
here
cool.
in 1 minute. But first, let's check in on some national recruiting headlines. Michigan has some momentum.
Bro,
They
national
landed
recruiting
another
headlines,
commitment
bro?
over the weekend, bringing them to 16 total commitments. They're sitting at number 5
He's over here
overall. Last year, they
plugging
finished
everything else
18th.
besides the actual
I don't know if
commitment.
Jim Harbaugh solidifying his
Oh,
position at
Najee's in the chat,
university has
boys.
anything to do with it,
Y'all
but
see your
the
boy
Wolverines
Najee in
are on
there?
fire heading
Look at
into
Najee in the
summer.
comments. Dropping
Number
the
one
Gator.
defensive lineman Williams Winery,
Okay.
the 5-star
Okay, boys.
standout, eliminates some teams. He
Take me
made
to the
the
Alligator
top
Farm.
10
What's up,
over the
Trav?
weekend, but I think there's 2 teams that stand
Oh,
out here,
there's a
and
couple
that's
Gators in the chat,
Oklahoma
boys.
and Tennessee. Both got him on campus over the spring, had impactful visits, and sit in a good spot heading into the summer. Let's check in on another number 1 player at his position.
That's
The
crazy,
number 1
man.
quarterback, 5-star Dylan
On
Raiola,
three, and
is
on three,
trending to
you know, I'm look.
Georgia.
I think
don't
we
know
should
when
definitely have
he's
a
gonna
show. We're
make
gonna have a
this
show after
decision,
the fact.
but rumors are
But
swirling
look, Jordan
that
had
it
his
could come
moment.
sooner than expected.
This
He
is
has an
crazy.
official visit set with the Dogs in June. We'll
This is
see if he
crazy.
makes his decision
shook.
before that, or
I'm shook.
can Nebraska and
Absolutely
USC
shook
slow
right now.
things down and
We got
get
300
back
in the
into
chat. We
race,
don't have
or
100
stay in
likes.
the
Come on,
race, I
baby.
should say.
So our boys from love, let's
Number
get it.
1, another number 1, 5-star wide receiver Jeremiah
We need to
Smith.
get you a
news
Gator
over the
costume
weekend. He
too.
locked in an
We
official
definitely gotta
visit
step up
to
the
UF.
game. I was thinking
Why
about today
is
about
that significant?
spicing up
Well,
the
he's
studio a
committed to
little bit. You know
Ohio
what I mean?
State and has been
Making
since
this wall
December.
like
He's
a
taken several
brick wall.
unofficial visits, including
Like, kinda
UF,
changing the room
FSU,
again.
and
I get
Miami.
bored. I get bored,
His
but we'll see.
first June official is the one that he is locked in. It's the only scheduled one on the slate
Matt
so
says
far.
get Josh Newberg on the
Miami
show.
get
I
one,
saw
Alabama.
our girl
We'll
Allie.
see
She
what
had
happens with
JD.
number 1 wide
Pickle.
receiver
So
Jeremiah
JD before he went to On 3,
While
him
we're
and I
here,
were like
let's
in
take a look at
cahoots.
the top 10
We were chit
rankings
chatting about having him on
on
the show, and then
3
obviously he went to On
industry.
3. So
All right, starting at the top with the Georgia Bulldogs, of course.
Bro, this is crazy.
At number 1, Ohio
He's still
State
going.
2, Alabama 3, Florida in there at 4. As we said, Michigan surging at 5, and then Oregon rounds out the top 10.
I don't know how to turn them down, guys. I see you can't hear me over Josh. I can't turn him down. I don't know how to.
4-star safety Jordan Pride is going to decide to go to school. He's 6'1.5", 175 pounds from Blountstown, Florida.
That's how loud he is. I don't know how to turn up.
Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, Ole Miss, maybe Arkansas. And we've seen a big swing on the recruiting prediction machine in recent days. Started out heavily in Florida's favor, but has come back in now is surging to Texas A&M just days after.
Bro, how is he over here just like giving his whole thing away?
It's at 97%.
This is unbelievable.
Recruiting prediction machine. Let's bring on Director of Recruiting for On3, Chad Simmons.
Oh.
Chad, got you here in the studio. Did Jordan Pride's decision to decommit from FSU less than a month ago come as a surprise to you?
You know, I don't know if anything really comes as a surprise anymore, Josh, especially with guys taking visits, been committed, like you said, for so long, over a year.
I can't wrap my head around the fact that he just, I mean, look, he's selling it, right? But like, you're like heavy to Florida, a strong surge to Texas A&M, bro. I would love kind of what happened at 247 with the Kermani situation, where he just kind of throws them off their sniff here. You know what I mean?
He's going to give his decision here in just minutes, but before we go to Jordan, give us the latest intel that you're hearing on his recruitment.
This is wild.
Well, look, like you said, Josh, the
this is wild.
RPM is trending heavily towards the Texas A&M Aggies. Obviously, once he
I can't wrap my head around this. Like, I get, like, especially the fact he's committing on your show. Like, if we were here, like how we're doing this, and we're talking about it, right? But he's committing on your show, and you're like, heavily trending, heavily doing this. We've got him projected to go here, and then he's going to go and commit. It's like, you just kind of killed this whole excitement.
We're going to go to Blountstown High School
you know
just
in
a couple
Am I wrong?
moments.
Am I crazy with that?
Remember, the teams that are in it here
Am I off on that?
Alabama, Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, Ole Miss,
I don't know, man.
and Arkansas. All right, it looks like Jordan Pride set up in the Blountstown High School gymnasium. He's got his friends there, family, teammates, coaches, the number 8 ranked safety in the country. Jordan, are you there?
I hope I hope that he does not go to
Jordan,
A&M.
it's an exciting day.
Not even Florida. Just don't go to A&M.
How do you feel
Shock these
right
guys.
now?
I feel great. I'm a little nervous, but
all right.
Well,
it's a big day. Do you want to say thank you? Anything you want to know? Anything you want to say before you let us know where you're going to be committing?
Yes, sir, I will.
Yeah, if you'd shut up, he could.
First off, I would like to thank God. Without him, none of this would be possible. I would like to thank my mama, Latoya, and my brother, Javon, for always having my back and pushing me to be the best version of myself. And I want to thank all my teammates, thank all the coaches at Blountstown High School.
I bet Hayes already dropped
Coach
it.
Words, Coach Duke, Seegers, and especially Coach Bugs and Coach Bo for believing in me in my career and giving me the chance to showcase my talent. And I would love to thank my coach, Coach Riss, and 707, my first 707 team, and opening up the recruitment for me. And I would love to thank Coach Harrison and thank him for taking my recruitment process to another level. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And with that being said,
here we
next
go.
4 years I'll be going to the University of.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, bro, I was. Oh, bro, he did the old swingaroo on us, boys. Bro, he had me. He had me, bro. But he had me.
Looks like he is picking the Texas A&M Aggies.
I can't do anymore with his voice. I can't do that anymore. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. That was fun. That was a good one. But buddy came back to it. That was good. And they had the Gator beanie Bro, we do. I was about to say, bro, we get trolled again, though. Trolled again. Look, I don't get upset about that. Like, to me, like, it's fun. It's fun. Look, it sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, look, I always gotta believe there's a reason, because I think we were heavily favored for him. The guy visited Florida a ton. So there's always a question mark of, like, what happened? Where did the disconnect come, right? We'll never know. We'll never know. But all in all, great commitment. Congrats to Jordan Pride for finding a home. Hope he has nothing but major success there. And he's Gator Bait now, right, boys? So let's look. We have other things we wanted to talk about. I didn't know Josh Newberg was going to make it the Josh Newberg show. I thought it was Jordan Pride's commitment. But anyhow, happy to have all of you guys here right now. Let's talk about, obviously, big news with Jeremiah Smith, right? Making a little bit of a splash, making an official visit June 2nd, I believe, through the 4th with DJ Lagway again. They maneuvered their weekend and his visit around so him and DJ could be together, which is absolutely massive. Obviously, we are heavy leaning and wanting Jeremiah Smith. We just got our first commitment just the other day, and Isaiah Williams, I believe, was his name. Our first wide receiver commit. Oh yeah, Isaiah Williams. Just the other day. So obviously the wide receiver room needs obviously a little more love. A couple more wouldn't hurt. Jeremiah Smith would really put a cap to this commitment class and to Billy Napier's and his recruiting and what he's been able to do. We're going to talk about Billy in just a little bit and what he has been saying and his vision for the recruiting. It feels like Billy's starting to find his swagger a little bit. I've got a few quotes from what he said this past weekend about recruiting, about in his second year, and how he's feeling more confident. We know where I'm at this channel and how I felt this entire time and where I've been with this, right? I've trusted in Billy. I've taken some smoke from you guys in the chat about how much love and support that I have for Billy, okay? But things are trending the right way. We're moving in the right direction. And I remember when DJ committed, you still had the haters and negativity of like, it's too soon, it will never stick. Now you're seeing the value in having a DJ Lagway commit as soon as he did and having him on campus, because this guy has been the ultimate recruiter. For the fact that Dylan Raiola still has not committed, it's very strange to me. I mean, he's kind of playing this, in my opinion, a prima donna card a little bit, taking that long. I love how DJ is straight business. I want to get in, I want to find my school, and then it's time to get to work. It's time to go put this class together, right? Ohio State, do they have a quarterback? I don't remember if they've replaced Dylan Raiola. I believe they may have. I don't believe it was a 5-star talent. But, again, a still healthy recruiting class nonetheless for them. Right now, Jeremiah Smith they have Aaron Nolan, that's right. Aaron Nolan, high talented recruit. I forgot that. So, look, if you're going to lose Dylan Raiola, a great replacement in Aaron Nolan. So, heavy competition there. They also have the 4th wide receiver in Mylan Graham. So they've got a lot of talent there. If Billy is able to pull off the unthinkable and steal one here from Heartline, boys, right? That's going to be a big one there. So we'll keep an eye on that. But him having an official visit in June, I love that. You think if he decommits from Ohio State and flips to Florida, that's got to be it, right? Could be wrong, but it feels like Dylan decommitted from Ohio State. Ohio State withdrew their offer. Would that happen if Jeremiah were to decommit? I don't know. I just don't see somebody visiting as many times. This will be his second or third time visiting Florida, especially in June, which is a big time to visit, right? That's right around the commitment time, June, July. I told you guys, I think I'd love to have a few more guys going into Friday Night Lights. I think that would be massive to landing some of those later on big studs. Jeremiah Smith would be a big one as well. If I'm Jeremiah Smith, I want to be able to have my home and solidify a home pretty quickly. And so if June 2nd is that date where it's like, look, this is it here. We gotta have a decision, because I need to know if I'm going to continue to pursue you to build this class. Look, could be a long one, could be something that takes a long time, but I think if we're able to, with what we've been able to do on defense with Xavier, right, and Ladarius Hayes and Miles Graham and those guys, complement on the other side with wide receiver and quarterback talent, it could really start to turn up. and we could really find ourselves in a top 5 easily, possibly even a top 3 class. So keep your eyes peeled. Be ready for that. May's going to fly by. It looks like May 29th, the Gators are set to go back to start practicing. So I promise you, we'll be at May 29th before you even know it. And then we're right in the midst of everything back all over again. And June, July is just getting ready for August. So things are heating up, boys. Make sure we like and subscribe because obviously we are moving in the right direction. But really excited to see what's going to happen with this Jeremiah Smith situation and if we're able to pull any more 5-star studs before the end of this class because we really love it. And I think Miles Graham and Chauncey Bowens and those guys probably will be tickling a 5-star rating by the end of this year anyways, but I digress, okay? It's going to be touch flipping Smith, but there's a silver chance. Look, you got to believe, man, I think him coming back and him visiting and him wanting to visit with DJ shows like, hey, I'm committed. I'm serious about actually visiting you. I'm not just going to visit to the swamp and hang out and get my official visits in and just get chartered around, right? I want to go with DJ. I want to hear what's going on. I want to know what's happening and how I'm going to play a role in this offense and what is this offense all about. So we will see. Some other big news. This is portal news. Alton Maskel is the running back from Houston. He's been visiting. He's been on campus this past few days at Florida, which is interesting. Guy's an absolute stud out of Houston. Hey, got that dog. He's an absolute dog. I thought this kid was going to be a Colorado lock, but he's obviously, it seems the portal was starting to adjust a little bit. At first, it felt like kids were just coming out and finding a home, Billy took the approach to step back and allow it to come to him. And we were critical about it. I know some of you guys in the comments in the Discord, you guys have been critical about it. But now it's starting to kind of take place where, look, these kids are trying to really shop around and make sure that when they hop into this transfer portal, they are making the right decision and don't end up like the kids that committed to Colorado this first time and then are right back out within 2 or 3 months, right? Realizing I made a decision too quickly. I jumped towards the flashy lights, and that was it. So let's slow down a little bit. Let's adjust. Let's talk about it. I think we can all agree as fans, like, we're all yelling offensive lineman, maybe another wide receiver. Quarterback is definitely a big scream from the fans. Billy goes, no, hold my beer. I got this. We're getting another running back. I mean, we got Cam Carroll. We got Trayon Webb. We got Trevor Etienne and Montrell Johnson. I mean, those are the absolute studs back there. But can you ever have too many just horse of a running backs back there? No, you can't. And again, I think that kind of speaks to him waiting. So, look, nobody can go into the portal. Nobody can leave now. You're stuck with it. And some people might think, like, oh, that's a little shady, right? Like, why is he waiting till these kids are locked in? But, look, you got to play the game to a certain extent. And there has to be that sense of you've got to earn that. You've got to work for it. I was reading an article. It says the cream will rise to the top, right? Eventually, the best player will poke through. And if you are Billy and you see a guy like that and Alton Maskel out there, Maskel or Matt, I don't know. Anyways, you got to, go after it. The top talented player, he's an absolute stud who would make a huge addition. I mean, if you're able to add that guy, Trayon Webb's a freshman, right? So I don't think we should expect Trayon to really have a bust-out season. Could he, like Trevor did last year? Sure. I think Trevor fell into a very healthy situation with the fact that Naquan just wasn't him, right? And obviously losing a few guys to the portal. Lorenzo didn't really fill in the role like we thought he would. So Trevor really walked into a healthy situation. I think ideally you would want to have where Trayon is a true 4-back running back, right? 4 or 5 running back. Not because he's not good enough, because you want him to develop. You'd rather him sit behind 3 studs in Alton and Trevor and Montrell and Cam Carroll, because we saw what Cam did in the spring game. Guy looked like an absolute tank. Like, I'm like, my goodness, this running back room is just absolutely stacked. So you may think, well, we have too many, but again, iron sharpens iron. If I'm Alton, though, do I want to make that leap to Florida, right? I think Florida, with producing Dameon Pierce, I think Montrell's going to come out and be a high-touted running back as well. Shows like, well, look, the next step is the league. Which team's going to give me that best opportunity? Which team's going to allow me to show my skills the best? I think we all know, it's no secret, that the run heavy is going to be the play style this year, especially for Florida. And this is why I think we keep wondering, why isn't he going after a quarterback? Graham's his guy. He's got Graham bought into the system. He's got Graham coming in being like an Alex Smith / Jimmy Garoppolo style type of quarterback. Just manage the game. Let your skill players around you do their job, right? I think we've got players like a Debo Samuel style type with Eugene Wilson, possibly an Aiden Mizell, right? Get back to those Percy Harvin days where you're just hitting little screen passes and dump off passes and allowing the talent around you to do the work versus trying to make the quarterback, do all the work for you. I think we were in that situation last year. We had Anthony Richardson. It's like, hey, you are the guy. Go do something. Billy wants to take that reign back and put it around the athletes around him. So I like it, right? I honestly do, especially if we're really going heavy running back. That room should be the thickest and most talented room for the Florida Gators. So we'll see how it plays out. Again, he's in heavy pursuit. There was multiple articles that were dropped just in the last 48 hours about Billy being heavily on Alton from Houston. So go watch his tape. The kid's an absolute dog, boys. I'm not just saying that. Like he's being heavily recruited by multiple schools and for good reason as well. So we will see. LFGM says, I'm over the quarterback situation. I'm just concerned with the offensive line depth and talent. Yes, me as well. There's a few offers that were kind of sprinkled out today for offensive tackle, and I've been preaching that as well. I think that to me is my biggest concern right now. Look, I still trust the process. I trust that we have 2 offensive linemen. I am concerned why we can't pull anybody. Right? We'd love to know more, but that's just kind of where we're at. We're always going to be in the dark to a certain extent. Everyone has their opinion about what's going on. You got some who go immediately to negativity and that like, well, Billy can't recruit, can't do any of this stuff. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on. So we'll see how it goes. But I think we've got to start. We definitely have to recruit some. The portal's a little bit of a different animal, but we definitely need to recruit some and hopefully start landing some guys, especially with DJ Lagway. You know what I mean? You got to be able to land some of those studs. So interesting stuff there for sure. The next thing is I want to talk about compound effect. So Billy has been found like Billy got a swagger back, boys. I got a few articles here that I want to pull up. One's by Zach Abelverdi, I believe. Look, he talked about his second year, right? And Billy says, I'm probably one of the more impatient people out there. Very interesting to hear him say that. I think we can all be on the same page when we look at Billy. The guy looks cool as a cucumber. Looks like he's just like, no big deal. No stress here. You guys see me. I'm cracked out constantly. So there's no way that I'm patient, right? I look at Billy and I hear him say that. And I'm like, well, if you're impatient, my friend, you go play some poker because you're psyching all of us out. And we remember that comment he said about how first year was a blender. It felt like a blender. You could tell that it was a blender. And I think that's where I get frustrated when I go, we got to move on for Billy. We got to do these things. I like the very just kind of open-end approach that Billy has taken to everything so far. He's being blunt. He's being honest. I think he understands that it is a very minutia situation that he's walking into. First year of the portal, first year of the NIL. I mean, it was hell. It was hell. And he even quotes in this by saying, we were 5 games, we were 1 score back. And I mentioned that a lot last year. Not making excuses, just simply stating the facts that there's 5 games, we were 1 score away from winning that bad boy, right? And if you put that into perspective, you pull 3 of those out, we're all going, hey, Billy got it going on, okay? And so I think we got to continue to be patient. I keep preaching that because, I mean, obviously we come here and we gather around to talk about Florida football, and I think it's important that we all can kind of get on the same page, But he talked about as well is the compound effect, right? Where he goes, first year, right? I just think we were teaching everything for the second time. So the second time through, you have a base now that have gone through that first time. Shamar James was one of those guys who he came late, but definitely talked about being one of those people, right? Who went through it the first time, going through it the second time. And it definitely helps. And you got a base now that's going through it the second time. Well, the very first time, all he had was Montreal and Osiris that had been through that process. He even talked about, too, like, hey, this team, right? Where did he say at? He goes, I think I have a better relationship and better communication with the current team and current players. All that starts to help. You get the base of players that believe in you, that believe in the process, that believe in what you're doing. The new pieces that you add on, all they know what to do is drink the Kool-Aid because that's what everyone else is doing, right? Think about year one, and this is what we always go back to. It's the Mullen guys. They already had their base. They already had their culture. They already had their thoughts and opinion about how it should go. So you've got that mixture plus Billy's mixture trying to coexist with one another, and that's tough to do. And to win 7 games and to be as close as they were with that mixture speaks compliment. I think we overlook that. We just look at wins and losses and go, it wasn't what we wanted. But looking kind of to the details of the situation, it's not as bad as it seems. So for him coming out and saying these things, look, compound effect. I'm ultimately where I'm confident that we will improve each year. We're going to refine our process, repeat it, and get better at it. I think last year we were a very inconsistent team. We got some momentum, and then we would lose it. Ultimately, I think all that comes back to me. I have to accept the responsibility. That's part of the job. I'm confident in our staff, and I'm confident in the group of players that we have. I mean, how could you hate that from a coach? How could you have any negativity with that, right? How could you hear that and say, yeah, Billy's not the guy? He's saying all the right things. And sometimes, I mean, where we at right now? We're in talking season, right? You have to and those are the things you want to hear during talking season. Speaking of talking season, you guys see the news of Mertz being compared to Joey Burrow. It looks like Barstool decided to open up their phone and they saw that and now they're running with it. So it's like repeating itself as new news. Could you imagine having that much power like Barstool, where they just post it as if it's new news when really it's like 4 months old? Kudos to them for being able to get to that point. But look. I'm excited. I love where his head's at. I love his swagger. And he talks about recruiting a little bit too, which excites me. The quote is, if we get them to campus, we're in it. Again, they're confident, more confident than they were last year. They've got more of a base. So when they bring recruits on, right, everybody they bring them to, you bring them to Trevor, you bring them to these freshmen that had a pretty healthy year one. Desmond, Chris, all these guys that had success that probably played sooner than they would have if Mullen was still there, right? We talked about that, those young guys playing, how that was going to impact recruiting. Like, you're going to come in and make an impact right away if you're that guy. And so all those things, and for the fact that he goes, look, we're in it for a lot of top talent right now, and we believe if we get them on campus, we are 100% in it. And when I hear that, that makes me believe, well, last year he didn't have that same confidence, because why preface it this year? If you felt the same way last year, you probably didn't. You probably felt like what we call them, a used car salesman, of like, you're just trying to sell hope and dream without really anything to show for it, right? It kind of reminds me of Phil Knight trying to sell, what's his name? Magic on the Nike shoe. I don't know if you guys know about that, but Phil Knight offered Magic some stock and all these options into Nike. Before Nike was Nike, obviously, Converse was the shoe of basketball when Magic came into the league. And they said, hey, you'll get your own Nike shoe, just basically what Jordan did. You'll get your own shoe, you'll get royalties plus stock. And he obviously went with Converse, which was kind of the thing to do. And they showed what he would have made if he bought into that. And it was like a couple billion just from the stock alone, the stock options alone, not even the shoe sales. So look, Phil Knight struggled obviously too, landing the big fish that first go around, because he didn't have the stability there, right? They were trying to break into that new world of basketball. So obviously I'm getting a little out of touch here with comparing Billy Napier to Phil Knight, but it's the idea of, when Phil Knight was getting things started, nobody trusted and believed in him. But you got to recognize when you got somebody who knows what they're doing, something special is going to come out of it. It just takes time. And so that's kind of, I think, where we're at right now. And I'm liking the energy. I'm liking, again, his swagger, right? He goes, hey, our staff, we've got a couple spots open that we're trying to add players through the portal. And then we're on the road evaluating 24, 25, 26 players all over the country, but most importantly, right here in our backyard. I mean, think about how far in advance that we're thinking already. And we think 2026, that's crazy. No, it's not. It's not. It really isn't. It seems like it's that's so far away, but it goes to show you, these Georgia guys in Bama, well, Bama not this much this year, but Georgia already has so many committed to 2025. They already have 15, 18 commits for 2024. That's because they were talking to them in 2021. Yeah, in 2021, 3 years ago, right? So all that pays dividends. And so you got to let this process. You have to let this go through his system, and we can't just be counting him out. I think, if anybody thinks that this year is the end year. I mean, I don't know how bad this year has to be for me to go, yeah, maybe Billy isn't the guy, because I need to see DJ and I need to see this 2024 class in combination with a second year 2023 class. With Billy at the helm. I have to see it. I have to see it no matter what happens this upcoming season. You may get to disagree, and I'm okay with that. But for me, that's where I stand right now. That's where I'm at mentally. But you guys let me know in the comments. The comments have quieted down, which is strange. So either nobody's listening or you guys are kind of taking in what I'm saying, which is strange. Usually you're just yelling at each other. So good to see that we're maybe on the same page with this. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments. Oh, man. Defensively, we had a top 5 defensive line class last year. That will be huge, keeping teams line Tennessee in check. Agree. Sheldon, if we only win 4 games, should Billy be fired? I don't look, Harrison. I know you guys are gonna call me, what do you call me, the Disney Gator or the Sunshine Gator fan, because I'm always looking at the positivity. I'm gonna be beyond pissed. So pissed I can spit if we only win 4 games. I know we play 2 cupcake games, so there's 2 already that we should win. We shouldn't lose to Vandy. There's 3. Look, rest of the schedule's tough, man. Arkansas, Missouri, boys are gonna be tough. But we should win those games too. So there's 4 or 5 right there, in my opinion. Florida State's going to be a good game. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough question. I know, like, right now, obviously it's talking season, how I feel. But, George, that's kind of where I'm at, right? Like, what do we go and do? Let's say he loses 4 games. We fire him. Then what? We're right back into this again in 2 years of the new head coach. You know what I mean? Unless you know a guy that's going to come in the next season and win 8+ games, why haven't you got him already? I don't think he exists. I don't think he's out there. So let it run its process. Look, enjoy this process. Like, to have this thought process that we're going to go and win 10 games. If we don't, it's a complete bust. It's just, you can't do that, right? You can't have that mindset. You can't. We're living too short term. We're living in the now and too microscopic, and we've got to think bigger picture. This stuff takes time. It's not like the NFL where you can kind of come in, you can do some big offseason signs, pay some things, do a little bit of more work in the draft. It's getting close with the portal, but it's not quite the same because you've got teams like the Georgia and the Bama that have been recruiting their ass off for forever now. And they've got a foundation. And when the teams that are basically your number one challenge is your foundation, that's tough. I mean, think about the Patriots and how long they dominated for that division. The Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins never stood a chance because the Patriots created this wheel, and the other teams just could never catch up. There was never enough they could do because of how perfect that wheel was. Right now, with the Jaguars division, the whole thing is in shambles, so anybody can take it. It also reminds me where that division is now is what the SEC East was just a few years ago. Well, guess what? Georgia did what the Jaguars are doing. They said, hey, we got to lock it in now. Let's go get our guy in Trevor. Their guy happened to be Kirby, and let's lock it in because the rest of the teams around us are falling apart. And Florida didn't do that. We didn't take advantage of an opportunity of, hey, the rest of us in the East, the rest of the teams in the East side are just kind of just abysmal. They're floundering around. What are we doing? And we blew it. And so now we've got to fight through these trenches. We got to fight through these teams that capitalized during that downtime when we had an ego and didn't really understand, like, hey, it's not that we're just that much better. Everyone else is just really bad right now. We need to put the pedal to the metal and rock and roll with it. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying the stuff, enjoying the content here. Good to see you guys as always. And then let's talk about this really quick. This is a very interesting development here. LSU NIL. I don't know if you guys have been watching it. You guys are probably going to give me crap in the comments, which I'm used to already, but because we're going to talk about women's basketball a little bit and the women's side of things. It's no secret what LSU is doing with NIL and Livy Dunn. She's the second highest NIL evaluation behind Bronny James. Bronny James is worth like $6.1 million according to On3. Not worth, but that's just their evaluation. LSU's Livy Dunn's worth, I think, 3.2 through her deals. I mean, the girl is getting just offer after offer. If you don't know who she is, she's a gymnast and at LSU. You got Angel Reese, who is obviously the basketball player. I think she's top 5, I believe, with over $1 million and now in NIL valuation. On top of what is the other young lady's name? And I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, but she's a rapper. She was a freshman. Flajay Johnson. She has a worth, I think, of like $800,000. And then on top of that, they just added Haley Van Lith from Louisville, who has an evaluation of $500,000. All these girls, 3 of them on the basketball team, so I think we all know who the favorite is to win, are going to LSU, making a ton of money in NIL, and also Livy Dunn. My question is, and the reason I bring it up is this going to translate over to football? Are they writing the blueprint for LSU sports? Because LSU is all over the place right now, organically, just from these young ladies. They're crushing it. If I'm a young lady and I want to play a collegiate sport, why would you not want to go to LSU right now? I mean, they're everywhere. They're landing deal after deal after deal. How much does LSU have to do with that, and how much is it on just these young ladies' talents alone? I don't know. I know Jaden Daniels, our quarterback. I think he's top 10 as well. Right? I'm asking questions here. I'm asking the tough questions of, look, maybe they're cracking another code here, right? Of just, hey, the football space is kind of tough. It's kind of tough to break into for NIL. But what if we do this? What if we go and we maximize all the other sports NIL? And then with that growth, it'll just carry over to the other sports. It'll just kind of flood over on the other side, right? I don't know. No one still cares about LSU? Okay, well, never mind. King Mike settled it, boys. I don't know, man. It's interesting to see, right? It is interesting to see, and it's crazy to see that these young ladies, I mean, there's 3 in the top 10, and they're all from LSU. All from LSU. Or top 15, I believe. Wild. I mean, Livy Dunn is a special breed, and I don't know if we'll see something like that come through again, but my goodness, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch for sure, but I'm just wondering if it's going to translate into football and help with football. I could be wrong. But I just wanted to ask that question and get your guys' thoughts in the comments, so let me know. But again, Jaden Daniels is up there as well. Let me read the list off. We got Bronny, then Livy, then Caleb Williams, Arch Manning. I think we kind of talked about that. Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders being 5 and 6, huge. Drake May, Bo Nix. Then Angel Reese is top 10. And then Jordan Travis. A lot of Texas players up there as well, too. So for some track, for football. And okay, Jalen Daniels top 25, with a 900,000 on 3 NIL evaluation. Miss Johnson, she is 812. She's at 36. And again, remind you that at Haley, I think she's at like $500,000 valuation. So we'll see. Malik Neighbors, he's football as well. Wide receiver, 724, top 50. We will see how it plays out. Our highest valuation, which is crazy, for the Florida Gators, the highest valued player, hasn't even taken a snap yet at DJ Lagway at $627,000. Interesting. So this is what's interesting too, right? Because I think we get frustrated with the collective and the NIL situation. How much of it is it the schools, or is it just the athletes involved? Because you got somebody like a DJ Lagway, right, who hasn't even stepped on campus yet, so technically he shouldn't have any correlation with Florida's NIL at all, but is ranked in the top 100 for NIL evaluation. I don't know. I got a lot of questions. These are just interesting stuff to see, and obviously this is on 3's numbers and kind of how they do things, but we will see. Nathaniel Rogers says, I'm picking LSU to win the SEC. That's not a horrible pick. I mean, they were close last year, and I think they're slowly but surely kind of getting things done this year. They reminded me a little bit of FSU last year, where nobody really paid attention to them because they weren't the exciting team to watch. But they got Harold Perkins, that 5-star linebacker last year, absolute dog. Jaden Daniels going to come back, probably have another pretty healthy year. Got some great wide receivers coming in. I know they've done some work in the portal. Not too familiar with them, but I know they did pretty well with their recruiting class last year. I know they lost Booty to the NFL draft, but got a lot of talent. That Harold Perkins is a beast. So that LSU Florida game is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good one. I believe it's at LSU this year, so it's gonna be a fun schedule. Alton Maskel, he committed to Texas A&M. Yes, he did. We already got burned by that one, but boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the show today. I appreciate you guys hanging out and spending some time with us. NIL evaluations are hogwash. Okay. My apologies for bringing it up. Perkins is sick, dude. Watching him play makes me think, what if? I mean, that guy came in and made impacts right away. But you guys have a great rest of your day. If anything else happens, you know where we'll be. We'll be live, so make sure you guys turn the bell on. Drop a like. Thank you for getting us over 100 likes. You guys rock, as always. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, live, 8:35 for our Wednesday show, our weekly show. We have about an hour and a half. We have a great time with that. Enjoy hanging out with you guys, as always. Love you guys. See ya.
I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you.